Hello and welcome to the Monsters, Myths, and Mayhem podcast. Silver here, and our co-host, one of them, maybe.
She ran away.
Like, who are we waiting on exactly? Which one?
I'm the guest. You're here all the time.
Chaotic.
Oh, goodness.
And our guest today,
Supermage.
which you guys may remember Supermage from previous episodes, such as the Bigfoot episode, Sun Wukong,
It's the same squinch.
and wait, you did Sun Wukong, Bigfoot.
What other one did we do? Do we do do we do Rainbow Dragon?
Yeah, the Rainbow Serpent, yeah.
Yeah, Rainbow Serpent. That's right.
Imagine me not being able to remember episodes. Okay, so we just had technical issues, and I don't remember where we were at. We did names, introductions.
Mm-hmm. Today we're going to talk about the horny little goat creatures.
That's not very nice to talk about Danny DeVito that way.
Hey, I will talk about my lover any way I want to.
Oh my god.
With those two descriptions and the title of this episode, if you haven't figured out, we are talking about satyrs.
Yeah, baby!
A quick question. How do you say satyrs? Do you call them satyrs or satyrs?
Satyr.
Satyr.
Okay.
Like cider, but slang.
I've heard a couple of people calling them satyrs, so I wasn't sure if that was just a dialect thing.
I think satyr's correct, though.
I'm not an expert in Greek etymology, so I'm going to call them satyrs. That's just how I know.
That's a good call.
I know you've done a little looking around, Mage.
Tiny bit.
So, would you like to tell us about satyrs, or shall we have Chaotic try to tell us first?
I want to hear her first.
I feel like that was just a let's hear how she can fail first type situation. I mean, so I guess the only version of satyrs I know are from Percy Jackson and from Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And Mr. Tumnus is not your usual satyr, so I don't have a whole lot of information that's going to be helpful here.
I just need you to do something. I need you to search Mr. Tumnus porn in Google right now.
Never.
Because it is astonishing the amount of results that come up.
It sounds like you got personal experience Googling this, Mage.
Yeah.
As a quick PSA warning, the mythology regarding satyrs does involve penises and a bit of SA.
Slight. Very slight.
Yes. Would you like me to go over their descriptions of what satyrs look like?
I think that'd be super helpful.
Yes.
So, most people know satyrs as the goat-legged, horned, short, humanoid creatures, which is also correct. That is one way satyrs look. From what I understood from my research, satyrs didn't always look like this. They were more humanoid with just a more bestial face with a mane and a tail, but having human legs.
Mm-hmm.
And then they slowly evolved into gaining legs of a goat. And the most common way to depict the satyr from anybody else in like ancient Greek pottery is because it has a permanent and overly exaggerated erection.
Big old dick.
Yeah.
Just big old dick.
Oh my god.
And a lot of the times they're often like masturbating.
Yeah.
Yep. They're just
Yeah,
horny all the time.
Yeah, they're depicted a lot of times, like Mage said, masturbating on Greek potteries. Like you have like this olive oil vase, and on this olive oil vase where you keep your olive oil, there'd be a masturbating satyr on it.
Because nothing says virgin olive oil like a goat fucking himself.
This is such a wild fucking ride. I don't even have like anything to say right now.
Satyrs, not just masturbation depicted as. Sometimes in the pottery, they found bestiality,
Bestiality.
which is literally a satyr trying to get it on with some sort of animal, whether it's a goat, a donkey, a horse, and also them chasing nymphs and women around.
Mm-hmm. I feel like when they originally started like drawing and depicting satyrs, they were like, oh, it's just a person with like the goat ears and the mane and everything, and we're just gonna have him fucking everything. And then over time, they were like, why don't we make him like animalistic a little more, so then it's not so bad that he's fucking that horse.
Yeah, it's like,
there's a little bit of a over time, like, let's fix this.
well, a lot of the transformation from human to bestiality, from human, more human to more beast in appearance was because of the god Pan. They started to see satyrs more and more with the chaos god. Is he the chaos god or nature god?
Let me look it up. Wild shepherds and flocks. That's what he is the god of. Nature, the wild shepherds, flocks, and mountain wilds.
Satyrs are more nature-based spirits, kind of like dryad or nymphs. So yeah, they became grown more attached to him. And of course, another god that the satyrs are really attached to in all the stories is Dionysus.
Didn't know that. I know the story about Apollo, where didn't a satyr like challenge Apollo to a musical contest, and then he got flayed alive because he was acting like an asshole.
Yeah, I actually got that story written down.
Oh, perfect.
We can go over that one. It's
can't wait.
Pretty accurate, but also so they're related to Dionysus a lot. They serve Dionysus because Dionysus is the god of wine, and
isn't it like wine and good times or something?
Yeah, pretty much like wine, good times.
The way they do Greek, like relating to their gods, it never made sense to me because it's always like one legitimate thing and then a bunch of just bullshit. It's like god of nature and mountains and rocks and trees and pebbles.
So Dionysus says here that he was the god of wine, vegetation, fertility, festivities, ritual madness, religious ecstasy, and theater.
Dionysus just loved to fucking party.
He was the party god, yes. It's said that some of the satyrs actually the satyrs are who make his wine.
That's funny. Do you think they stir it with their giant erections?
Depends how they're made. You know, isn't ancient winemaking stomping on it on grapes?
They're just smashing the grapes with their 2-foot long dicks.
I imagine they have some way.
Something like that. Well, they got goat hooves. They'll be fine.
Yeah. A satyr was actually Dionysus's foster father.
Huh.
Which is also why Dionysus liked the satyrs. Besides, the satyrs also love to party.
Yeah,
and
satyrs were
debauchery.
They are little deviants for sure.
Mhm.
I put a picture in the chat for you guys to see.
Yes. I see that
I
one.
hate it here so much.
That is classic Greek pottery. Look at the beauty in that.
Classic Greek pottery. You're not
Yeah.
wrong, but also no.
He's got 2-foot dick. Jesus.
Clearly, that's why Aphrodite used them often.
Yeah.
Look, they can even do tricks with him.
For those of everyone, I guess they can't see it. Silver just put a photo of a satyr balancing what appears to be a chalice on his erection, which I find very impressive.
Why is his erection is like extremely small compared to the top guy?
The top guy's just more well endowed. Jeez, it still gets the job done, Chaotic. Calm down.
It's got the
Fuck.
length. It does. He's
I'm
he's
leaving.
got the length. He doesn't got the girth.
God. Sometimes 3 inches is all it takes.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving the podcast. I'll see you guys later.
Peace. Oh, apparently there's also a bunch of scenes of ceramic pottery depicting them in orgies. Because why not?
Well, also from what I heard through a couple different stories wise on the internet, I'm not 100% sure if this is accurate, but satyrs were often pictured with larger peckers.
What a wonderful time for you to say that word. Thank you.
Larger dicks.
Because the show that they're more bestial and more of the nature, and like the Greek statues and stuff. You know how they always have little weenies on them. That was because they were more human and noble, so they were kind of related to smaller extensions to more goodness, I guess, nobility.
That's fair. So the smaller the dick, the nicer the guy you are, basically.
Yeah.
And when you got a big dick, you're a satyr and you're an asshole. Got it. I'm seeing a lot too that they get like placed a lot, like grouped in the same category as like nymphs and curettes. Is that how you pronounce it? Curettes. Basically as like the good for nothing pranksters and deviants.
High sexual energy.
Yeah. They do be fucking.
And partying. And so another thing I want to talk about is satyrs are often used in plays called satyr plays. Are you familiar with satyr plays?
I am not. What's a satyr play?
Yeah, I want to know.
There's a chorus of people dressed as satyrs, and it's more of like a satire comedy instead of just like a regular comedy. So it was like super overly exaggerated of them making fun of like the government and stuff like that. And they could be super over satire about it, and everybody would know they're not being serious about it because the satyrs would be the ones causing a lot of the ruckus.
So it's like the first like parody video. That's funny.
Yeah. Usually satyr plays are set in the mythic past, usually rural areas. They usually cause chaos, and there is not necessarily any reconciliation to like the ends of the play. Unlike a regular Greek comedy where it was set in the present, urban, had order, and concludes with a compromise and offers an absurd suggestion to the problems. Yeah, so pretty much The Simpsons was a satyr's play.
The Simpsons.
Or satyr play.
It's 100% just The Simpsons Greek Satyr edition.
There's not much known about satyr plays as well because there's only a handful that survived, and the only one true complete satyr play that we have on record is the Cyclops by Euripides. And the other, you only got like 11 other satyr plays by Euripides that are not really fully complete.
Dope.
And also kind of bringing satyrs into the modern medical terms, there is actually a medical term that's not really approved of as anymore,
Mm-hmm.
from what I've seen. But it the just like nymphomania, it comes from the nymphs. There's a male equivalent of that called satyriasis, which is pretty much means the individual is hypersexual.
See, when I hear like iasis at the end of it, I feel like it's a skin problem.
I mean,
Which I guess the skin of a certain area, probably.
so now we can move on to stories.
Yay!
Are you ready for story time,
Hit me with
Chaotic?
them. Hit me with
Hit me, baby, one more time.
There is a satyr called Marsyas, Marsyas. Marsyas.
Sounds right.
He was an expert at playing the double-piped double reed instrument known as the Aulus, Aulos, which was actually an instrument made by Athena. But Athena didn't really like how she looked while playing the instrument because it made her cheeks puffy. Because you got to blow into it.
What a queen.
So she took this instrument and threw it away. And Marsyas found it. He got real good at it. Thought he was the best. And he decides one day, I'm going to challenge a god to a battle of the bands. And who does he pick? He picks Apollo, god of music.
Of course it's Apollo.
Because who else would it be?
There was a cast of characters there being the judge of nymphs. Midas was there. He was a judge. And they played their instruments. Marsyas was extremely good at it. But then Apollo played his instrument, which I don't remember what it was, but Apollo also sang as well. So I guess it wasn't a wind instrument. But being the god of music, he was so great that he easily won the competition, securing all but one vote, which made him mad twice over, but being petty. Apollo, the bet they had was that the winner could do whatever they want with the loser.
Silver, I'm looking it up. I think it was a harp.
A harp?
Yeah, sorry.
That makes sense. So, since Marsyas lost, Apollo could do what he wants with him. So he pinned him to a tree, flayed all his skin off, and turned him into a wine sack since he was so always drunken and full of wine anyways. He just made him more into a wine sack.
What's a wine sack?
It's a sack that holds wine.
Oh, you said sack. I think you said wine sack. I was like, what the fuck is that?
James is like, yeah, catch me up. I don't know this lingo.
Hey, my ancient Greek lingo is on par for
the times.
Yeah.
I feel like when he got pinned to the tree, he was like, "Oh, this is a reward for me." And then he starts cutting into him. And he's like, "What's my safe word?"
Watermelon. They didn't know what watermelon. There was also a second loser though in this competition.
Who's the second loser?
The one and only person who voted that Marsyas was better than Apollo. Apollo didn't like him for voting for Marsyas. So Marsyas gave him the ears of an ass because he liked the satyr so much. Can you guess who it is?
Who?
Midas.
That's funny.
Oh my, he's always involved somewhere. For what?
He just gets shit on in all of Greek mythology. You think
He
of
does
his
it to himself.
Yeah, but you think of like his powers and everything, and you're like, man, he's got some pretty cool shit. And then you see other people are like, oh, I pulled the sun across the sky. He's like, I make things gold.
Marsyas and Midas also knew each other from previous times as well, because Marsyas ended up being tied and locked in Midas's garden for a time, because it was said that a satyr will give you great knowledge. And so Midas ended up catching Marsyas and asked him, Midas asked, this is me trying to remember it from memory since I can't find it. Midas asked Marsyas what the best way to enjoy life was. Marsyas gave him the most reasonable answer he could think of. The best way to enjoy life is to never have been born. And the best way to enjoy life if you have been born is to end it quickly.
Damn.
It's just rude.
Yeah. That was either a very slight insult to Midas or the satyrs' true feelings on how humans lived, because they never party all the time and it was a hard life back in ancient Greek.
Yeah. Hard enough that he's just like, why don't you kill yourself?
Pretty much. After that, Midas just let Marsyas go.
As one does.
Mm-hmm. Midas also got his power to turn things into gold because of a satyr as well.
Really?
Because he ended up finding Dionysus's friend or stepfather, foster father. So I think it was Silenus, and ended up partying with him and taking care of him for a couple of days. And Dionysus was so worried about him, he ended up finding them together and just gave the golden touch to Midas after Midas asked for it, which we'll probably cover Midas in his own separate episode.
We'll just start doing Greek mythology.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that.
For sure.
And that's kind of all I had. There's a couple other different cultures that acquired satyrs as well, since they've become so well known. Like the Romans, their equivalent of satyrs are fauns. But I don't think they're quite overly exaggerated.
No, they're kid friendly.
Yeah. They're more
I think that's
shy
actually
than
what
creature.
Mr. Tumnus is based off of.
Yeah, for sure. He's not a general satyr.
No, he's not a deviant with a 2-foot dick. He didn't see the.
I mean, you never know, but I'm assuming.
I mean, he didn't see Edmund come through the wardrobe and try to fuck him, so that's probably a pretty good indicator. Exactly. That's a good thing.
Yeah. And also Christians. Can you guess who the Christians symbolize satyrs and fauns as?
I don't know, Matt. Who is it?
Satan.
Wow. Never would have guessed.
It is said that they took inspiration from satyrs when they made Satan. Satan was...
When they created the depiction of him?
Yes.
Okay.
That is the right English. That is...
I thought that's what you meant, but I was like, what do you mean when they created it?
When they showed his depiction, yeah. Which
Which
would also make Kaotic's favorite Christmas time monster a satyr.
Look. I'm not saying I'd let Krampus do things, but I would. So, like, he probably is a satyr, yeah.
He's got all.
That's why he's
it's a
breaking
good
into
turnout
everyone's
for me.
houses.
I don't know.
He's breaking into everyone's houses to fuck them to death. I picture Krampus as like Mr. Garrison on South Park, where he just comes in, I'm gonna fuck you all to death.
I've never seen that episode or any of them.
Highly recommend it. It's funny.
Did
you say this is the episode that's going to get us canceled?
Yeah, I said this is the episode that gets us canceled.
No shot. I also feel like we're being very tame. So we know the conversations can get very worse.
Going back to story time on satyrs, there was also a story I heard dealing with Poseidon.
Mm-hmm.
So there is this man. He ruled over the lands, and he made Poseidon angry. So Poseidon took all water away from his land. He decided to, instead of sending, knights or people in general that could go do scouting, he sent his daughters out to go look for water. And why would you send your daughters out in Greek mythology by themselves?
That place is just a giant zoo.
Yeah. So
it's like a predator playground.
The daughter was getting hungry, and she seen a deer and threw a spear at the deer and missed. But she did end up hitting a satyr that was taking a nap in the ground. The satyr then pounced and tried to SA her, but just in time Poseidon showed up, and he himself then just SA'd her after scaring the satyr off.
Wow.
Which is what
it's
not really surprising based on Poseidon and like our Medusa episode.
I want to be in the Poseidon episode because I got some words for that motherfucker. He was a cock.
He was, and a lot of people thought he was like the good brother.
Yeah.
He was just as bad as Zeus.
Yeah, he probably was.
If not, at least Zeus owned his shit. Poseidon never does.
At least Zeus, he abandoned people and was like, oh, I'm not going to be a part of your life to ruin it. Poseidon was like, no, I'm going to be here. Just fucking shit up.
He did a lot of petty stuff as well. Hades is about the better of the three.
Mm-hmm. Well, Hades got sent to the underworld and then just kind of fucked off and did his own thing. He was like, all right, I guess I'll just stay in my lane.
Right, man found a wife, settled down, stopped fucking around with his brothers, and was like, all right, I'll see y'all later.
He grew up.
Found a wife, air quotes.
Found is a very loose term.
Stole wife.
Found, stole, bought. What are words, really?
Words? What do they mean?
He's only married 6 months out of the year.
6 months out of the year. That's funny.
I need to do more Hades research and Persephone. Anyways, that's my stories I have. There's plenty of other stories as well with satyrs in them. I would recommend watching the Cyclops play by Euripides. It is extremely funny, and the actors wear like cloth phallics.
Hold on, I gotta.
And there's a little skit on YouTube about it. It's just you can tell what they are, but I don't think any children would. But it's funny. So let's move on to some more modern day media that they are in. modern day media. You guys have named some of them. Grover from Percy Jackson.
I never read any of the Percy Jackson series, but I didn't know they had satyrs in that. That's very cool.
They do. One of his guardian that he starts out with is a satyr. It becomes his best friend.
That's dope.
There's also the Lion Witch in the Wardrobe, which has Mr. Tumnus.
Mr. Tumnus.
Disney's Hercules.
That's my boy right there.
Which has
I loved Phil in that.
I mean, he was like Disney kidified Phil. Yeah. I imagine he could have been a lot worse.
Well, and they even like allude to it a little bit. Like he chases Pegasus when he first meets him and essentially tries to fuck a horse.
And he flirts with the nymphs.
Yep. And he's just a dick in the whole series. I love to see when he's talking about his, like, the people he's trained before, and he walks up to the statue of Achilles, he just flicks the heel. Such a dick. I love it.
We got Krampus. Satyrs are in D&D as a class.
I'm looking over their class.
D&D satyrs are... Yeah, they don't get much as a classes themselves.
Which seems bullshit.
But in D&D lore, this is the only place where I could figure out the reproduction of satyrs. So
the reproduction of satyrs.
Yeah, because all satyrs are male. How do they reproduce?
Asexually.
I mean, that'd be wild if they did somehow.
They just shoot another satyr out of their dick. Just boop.
That's how they birth.
What a time.
That's why it's so big. It's a womb.
It's holding another person. It's like a kangaroo pouch.
Well, maybe, who knows? The satyr D&D lore from Forgotten Realms states that satyrs, to make more satyrs, will mate with fey beings such as dryads, nymphs, orids, but they can also mate with humans, depending on which lore. Usually, if they mate with humans, their human becomes a half fey human, not a satyr.
That makes sense.
And you only get satyrs from fey and fey.
So are satyrs technically fey then?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah, in D&D, they're part of the fey, Sylvan elves culture.
Wow, I am going to get flagged for what I just searched. I'm still trying to find a satyr, like a picture of the costumes from the Cyclops, and I searched Cyclops satyr costumes with erection.
Just
not with the erection.
Well, I was just getting a bunch of like whores on Thanksgiving or on Halloween trying to dress up as satyrs. It's like, that's not what I'm looking for.
Okay, but aren't satyrs like that? So, like, yeah.
Oh my god. I mean, you're not wrong, I guess.
If you search Cyclops by Euripides, you could probably find it. I found it on YouTube, so it has to be, it's not that bad. Anyways, continuing on with more modern day media. Do you have any chaotic that you know of?
Just the ones I talked about. Those are the main ones that I know. Yeah. And obviously, which is funny because in Percy Jackson, they even kind of give a nod to like him being a ladies' man, you know. Mm-hmm. But in Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, he's definitely more just like minds his own business, doesn't really talk to people, kind of thing. So it's just interesting to see the different ways they're portrayed when their history is so very abrasive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of them went with more of the Roman fawns in most cases, or just kind of dialed it down from 10 down to like 3. But satyrs also, I think, maybe were the first of a certain genre of characters in modern day media today. They might have been the first pervy characters in
They're the first
storytelling.
furries.
Well, yeah, maybe. Maybe. But they were like the first Minettas.
They're the first just class perv.
Yeah. If you think about it, overly sexual, wants to party, drink, usually fits most of the anime tropes of the pervy character.
True.
Like Mineta or
he's just the first one
just
that comes to mind.
Yeah, Mineta's just that terrible. I just blanked on the rest because I don't
Goddamn
like
great
the pervy characters.
Chaotic, what are some other pervy characters?
God, why did you automatically come at me with it?
Well, there's only 3 of us here.
Well, I know, but I don't really know.
Maybe they like the college. Who's that guy from Animal House? He's like them. Or American Pie.
Oh, Stifler.
Yeah. He has the soul of a satyr.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
That sounds like it could be a very good insult without people knowing it's an insult.
You have the soul of a satyr. That's funny.
Yeah, why are they planting B?
God damn, why are they planting B? Fuck.
Because A and C are full
of satyrs.
Satyrs in the ass and satyrs on the cock.
Why did you? Oh my god! It's the way I didn't even think about something like that.
Oh god.
Oh, things are starting to get out of hand. Let's move on.
Are they? Are they starting to get out of hand?
The mayhem's started already. Let's just hit the music and. Rolling on with Mayhem Chaotic. Take us away. She was there once, but now she is not. She's all quiet. Would you like to lead us in Mayhem?
What are we starting with? Like, what are we... Are we wanting to talk?
Maybe satyrs in society, then... We can, at the very end, we'll do our choice of what he is in college.
All right. Well, I'd have to say... High
school would get us to jail.
That's fair. I really don't know how... I would like to say I know how society would take it, but also, they would probably be way too happy about it. So, like... I don't know. I don't think they'd be too bad.
Yeah... I could agree somewhat on that. I think if we could figure out how to get them to learn about, SA being bad and to stop chasing people.
Yeah, for sure.
We can let them go on their own at a horse farm or they must have human intelligence, so they could probably have their own groups in the forest somewhere living, because I imagine they probably don't want to live with people. They probably want to be out in the wilds.
For sure.
They could live in Yellowstone National Park.
Mm-hmm. They could fight the skinwalkers in, like, Virginia.
Oh, my God.
and then if they sexually assault a skinwalker, it's not a problem.
I don't know how that would work.
Not well.
Probably not for the satyr. They'd probably avoid them. I mean, he'd probably try and find Bigfoot himself. But if a satyr wanted to join society, he could sell molds of his tool.
That's an empire, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Just get a resin mold made and just start pumping out money.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a variety of molds similar to that already out on the market, but you get an authentic satyr one.
It's all about marketing.
I think he'd be bad in cities, but if you leave them alone in nature, they'd be fine. Now, if they... all depends on the satyr as well.
I think the temptation of the city is too much.
I mean, they'd have to learn about pants or kilts.
Something.
Yeah. That's like me and Chaotic talked about a little bit earlier that we weren't sure of with the loading. The Fossagrim.
Hmm.
Do human laws apply to Greek mythical beings or any mythical beings? Would a satyr have to be covered up?
I think it depends on what country, if I'm being honest. Here, 100%, because people would have a fucking aneurysm. If you go to some, like a country that's a little more relaxed, I think he'd be okay.
I mean, we got nudist beaches here.
Yeah, but not much. Whereas, like, you go to, like, France and Italy, that's a very common thing. There's more nudist than non-nudist over there.
Is that true?
Yeah. There's more nude beaches than non-nude beaches.
Oh, I thought you were talking about in general people. I was like,
ooh.
Okay.
We see where Silver's head's at tonight.
No, well, this entire episode.
We're talking about dicks.
Okay, now, where would you place a satyr in college? What group?
Is it bad that I immediately thought of, like, the frat boy? Like, you see a satyr with, like, a gold earring, and he's just wearing, like, sunglasses and a backwards hat with his horn sticking out.
No, because they like to party, they like to dance, they like to be jovial, they like sex.
They like to
college
fuck.
party. Yeah,
that's where I'm putting him.
I would agree at the frat boy trying to be a Giga Chad, as the internet people would say.
Yeah, I could see that. Trying super hard and just trying and just fucking it up.
Probably dives in the pool completely naked first thing.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a pool party.
I can also imagine them wearing, like, no pants, but, like, a jersey. Or I could see if you get, like, a satyr who's a little more conservative, they would be like the stoner.
I could see that.
They like to drink and have a good time and do drugs and everything and be out, and they're the kind that, like, will drop mushrooms and go on a nature walk.
Yeah. More not my problem, going out to nature.
Yeah. They're 100% like a bio major.
Not the bio major.
Yeah.
Any comments on where you would place a satyr?
I would definitely I'd probably agree with, like, stoner. But I don't know. They could easily be like a jock as well, because, like, I bet they'd be good soccer players.
Fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They are running circles around people in track too, I bet.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I could see track major. I would doubt it's a kind of 50-50 shot if they play American football, because they got the headbutting, tackling.
Oh, true. Just be on defense.
I could see them more, like the sporty Giga Chad and dancing, frolicking. Maybe a music major, because they're very talented with musical instruments.
Yeah, I heard about that.
They directed Bandcamp.
100%. They play like 7 instruments, but they love to sing.
Yeah. I guess if nothing else to add, we shall start wrapping things up. Chaotic. Do you have any new news?
No. By the time they listen to this, I will have no news.
You have some news, Chaotic, I know of.
What? Please inform me.
What came out today?
Huh?
What came out today as
recording? There's my other podcast thing came out today. You guys should check that out.
We are all about shameless plugs here.
Yes, I was trying to help you promote. Go. Push Chaotic. Go.
Don't push me. Seems
What
rude.
is the name of that other thing that you're doing?
Oh, it's, the thing. Storyteller in the Fog. It's the DBD thing.
And your topic this week or this month. Now she's got to look it up.
What am I looking up?
Your
What
topic?
was your episode called? Your new episode.
Oh, it's the Legion. It was the Legion. Legion was the topic of discussion.
What's the Legion?
A killer in DVD that is 4 angry teenagers that killed a guy, and now they're stuck forever in
Purgatory?
I mean, pretty much. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
That's dope.
We have different definitions of dope, but I feel ya.
We did this in a weird order this week, guys. Sorry. Thanks our patrons, Mondi, Ruby, and Mage, who is here with us.
That's me.
And I have no news, but I have a poll on Discord and Twitter X. Don't Google that.
Don't Google that.
About what we should do if one of us can't make it. If we just some more ideas for us. If you want to vote on those or just give your let us know suggestions. So with that, am I missing anything? It's been 2 weeks. Oh, Mage, do you have any plugins that you would like to plug yourself?
I do not have any plugins at this time.
You don't want to plug yourself in?
No, we're under construction for some things.
Wild.
It's in the works.
In the works. He's got he's already plugged in, but he's plugged into, he's not plugged into. Somebody's plugged into him, and that'd be a satyr.
Alrighty
Danny
then.
DeVito satyr. Specifically. I got him little fake horns. It's adorable.
I love that.
Danny DeVito, if you listen to this episode, please just message us. We'll it'd be funny. I don't think he will, but
Worth a shot. Put his name in the description of the episode.
Tag him. Post it on Twitter and tag his Twitter.
Danny DeVito's a satyr? ? Episode title.
Danny DeVito's a satyr. Oh, that's so good.
Anyways, Chaotic.
Yes.
Would you like to roll the outro?
Thank you for listening to the Monsters, Myths, and Mayhem podcast. Silver and Kaotic take you into the depth of the lore and discuss how these legends could affect modern-day society. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or almost any podcast service easiest to you. Dive into the depths of chaos with us every Wednesday, bar Silver and Kaotic not missing their scheduling, and consider joining the podcast Discord or Twitter following even more insider looks and even some D&D sessions. If you'd like some extra special inside looks or even want to be a guest on the show, consider helping us via Patreon. Your help makes such a big difference to us both. Until next time, Mythics, you never know what kind of mayhem we might get into.
Danny DeVito would be proud.
Danny DeVito!
You can buy classic satyr artwork on Etsy. I just say it about